Lance Alworth had the kind of ability that enabled him to transform pass receiving into an art form. Alworth was to the old AFL what Baryshnikov was to the American Ballet Company, a man whose spellbinding talents helped put fans in the seats and black ink in the books. For 11 seasons, Lance Alworth carried a license to thrill that no defensive back was able to revoke.
Speed, moves, the whole works. He had the whole shebang.
In 1962, Lance Alworth exploded into orbit, and for 11 years, he never landed. Like a 60s hot rod, number 19 roared down pro football's drag strips, blazing by the competition with the top down and the radio blaring. Alworth was so fast that even if the thing were two-hand touch, no one would have laid a mitt on him. But one thing he could not outrun were his own personal demons.
He was a guy that was driven for whatever reason, you know. Probably like all of us, stems from childhood somewhere.
My dad looked at me and, he said, well, said, you think you played pretty good, didn't you? I said, yes, sir.
But one thing he could not outrun were his own personal demons.
He was a guy that was driven for whatever reason, you know. Probably like all of us, stems from childhood somewhere.
My dad looked at me and, he said, well, said, you think you played pretty good, didn't you? I said, yes, sir. Dad, I scored 2 touchdowns, and I did this, and I did that. And he said, well, you've had a great night, but I want you to remember this. I said, no matter how good you are, there's always going to be somebody who could do a little bit better. And I went through my whole career looking for somebody like that, looking for somebody that was better than me, and to prove to him that I was that good.
Take a drive corner, Lance, coming in from a good wide position and starting right down that middle, and then breaking it off and taking it to the corner. You'll lose him. You'll lose him.
And all Hall of Famer was his heart. He gave everything he had, every minute that I ever saw. I played against him on a football field.
Inside Alworth beat the heart of a winner. He was a fierce competitor who never quit on a play or backed down from a challenge.
Fearless competitor. He didn't make him any difference whether you ran across the middle or anywhere you ran him, he was going to go for that football. He had great intestinal fortitude.
They used to tell me I was like a gnat. These linebackers would say, you're just like a gnat. You can't hurt us, but you're always around.
He stuck his handsome face into ugly places, and defenders did their best to mess up his pretty boy looks.
You put 2 people on him to beat on him. Butch Bird beat on him. That's when we had the bump and run. Butch Bird to beat on him. You have a safety beat on him, and yet he comes around and he catches the ball. The guy was just phenomenal. He just had everything going for him.
I used to think Lance was blessed. He was a great athlete, good-looking guy. He was earning a lot of money. Once we're coming back from New York, and we're on a plane, and there's just a tremendous thunderstorm. The plane is going this way and that way and this way and that way. And I remember actually thinking, oh, I got nothing to worry about. Lance is on board. God's not going to kill him.
Lance Alworth possessed heavenly skills, but rarely has such a perfect player been blessed with such a perfect nickname.
Bambi. And it was a combination of not only the way he looked, with his big brown eyes, but he could literally leap like a deer. Boing, boing, it was unbelievable.
Had uncanny ability to time his jump